Hi, I'm going to highlight some of the new features that Photoshop has just recently introduced within the last year or so. Some of my videos are about 2.5 years old. I thought instead of redoing all of them, I just might as well add some supplemental videos because the basic functionality of Photoshop is pretty much the same. But the one that I love is generative fill, and then there's some other ones that are going to be amazing too. But while I'm at it, I kind of don't like the sky, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to edit. I'm going to find, oh, I went right by it, sky replacement. And then what you can do is it'll give you a series of skies that you can use. I didn't like some of them. I didn't think they added enough texture. So what I did is I brought in some of the ones that I had when I was traveling to Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. And it just so happens that this is the one that I really, truly like. Or maybe this one a little bit. Nah. Oh, no. Let's see what else got there. Yeah, a little more. I want a little orange. There we go. Nah, I don't like that. I thought I would. There, nah. There we go. So all I have to do, now this is kind of counterintuitive. Usually you'd say click on OK or something like that. You can spread them out this way if you want, just to see them a little bit better. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click outside and now OK. And if I wanted to, I can, shift the edges, fade the edges. I can change the temperature, which means, add a little bit more color to it. I can also make it a little teeny bit more brighter. There we go. Or a little less. You know what? I don't like that picture after all. I'm going to come back here. No. There we go. That's the one I'm going to use. And it's kind of nice, and then you decide which way you want to do the output. I'm going to have a whole new layer, so I go, okay. And so these are all the different layers that it creates over here in my properties bar. So I'm going to just drag that up here. Now the next thing I want to do is some of the truly powerful stuff. I am going to add a space alien. So I'm going to come up here like that, and I'm going to do generative fill. Now I can do space alien or a tall basketball player. I'm going to do tall basketball player. Now the more articulate you are, the better off you are in terms of getting what you want. I am not really all that articulate when it comes to my writing, so hopefully this will give me something kind of cool. And then what it does is it comes over here and starts trying to generate something. Okay. I don't like that. Oh, maybe that one. Kind of like that one, but I'd like to see the side of him. I'm not sure I want a basketball, but this is how you do it. If you don't like any things you've got, you can generate again. Click right there. Now, the sad thing about it is the way they're doing it is this tends to be resource intensive in terms of, oops, where'd it go? In terms of having to go out to the server. So if you don't have an internet connection at the time, you're not going to get what you want. And you know what? I still think that's probably my best bet. I kind of wish this one, but this doesn't look realistic. So let's just go with that. Now once again, it's a new layer. If I want to turn it off, I can do that. Also, since this is a mask, and we'll get into masks later if I'm correct as to when I'm showing this, then I can add to it or I can subtract to it using that mask. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to go File, Export, Save for Web Legacy. Now, one of the things I forgot to mention is this thing is lying at us. Look how big it really is. So I'm going to make it down to like 1,000. No, let's go 1,200 and see what it looks like there. Nope, still too big. I'm going to come down here and go 1,200. Whoa, still too big. How about 800? Ooh, 800 by 600. Click on that. Oh, real close, 101. I'm going to have a requirement of getting it below 100. So what I would do is I'd probably go, click up here and go 580. And since it's keeping it proportional, that'll be fine. Click on it, 97. I like that. Hit save. And then I'm going to save it as Anchor Watt 2. And hit save. And I'm going to hit replace. So that's generative fill. That is so cool. It's only going to get better because the more people use it, the better off it's going to be. Now I'm going to show you one of the other pictures that you'll play with later on. There's a select subject capability, which is right there, which isn't too bad. What's interesting though is I've had complex ones, like there's going to be an assignment called Where's Howard. The Where's Howard, oops, let me go Control D. This object select is a lot better. Now, what's wild about this is you would think the closest you get to that, the better off you are. It's exactly the opposite. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Select, Modify, and I'm going to expand it. I'm going to go 20. I usually play around between 10 and 20, so I'm going to go OK. And if you haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet, I am embarrassed that I did degradate. I can't say that word today. Dishonored Stonehenge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove myself. So I'm going to come up here and go Remove. Now you don't have to do a selection like this, but I have found it works pretty good. So that's what it does when it's just selected. So let me do Control D. I'm going to do Control Z a couple times, and I'm just going to paint it as best I can. Not bad either. So, you know, you're going to find out with Photoshop there's usually 2 or 3 different ways of doing the same thing. Now, what I would do next is I've got some extra stuff right there. I would want to get rid of that. I could do generative fill, but that's going to be one of those things that's overkill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Shift F5, which is essentially deleting it, and I'm going to do a content aware fill. I still got some of that. I'm going to go Shift F5, content aware. Now, one of the things you're going to find out is you're going to get to a point where you may want to do the clone stamp tool. And then just do an Alt, click. Oop. Now you know why you do typically in small portions. There we go. Come back here, go Alt, click. Now I'm done with it. I'm not real happy with that, but let's do Control Z. And let's go a generative fill and see what we get. Now, since I wanted to select this information here, all I have to do is hit generate. I don't have to tell it what I want. And that's pretty important right there. I'm not sure if that's exactly what I want. Let's try that one, or boy, I did a better job when I was practicing it. Now I'm going to come back here. Now I got to be careful because of the generative fill. It's got a mask there, so it may get rid of anything that I just do. Or I could go up here on top and do my clone stamp. I want to do new layer. Do my alt click. There we go. So I'm doing it with the clone stamp and the generative fill. I personally would choose just to do the clone stamp. But then again, I would spend a whole lot more time doing it too. So that generative fill is okay, but sometimes using a different tool is better. Now, the last thing I want to do is, that's a boring sky, so I'm going to go Edit, Sky Replacement. And by the way, the Stonehenge is one of the coolest places you could ever go to. I would recommend it very highly. It's out in the middle of nowhere. No, don't like that. Kind of like that. Ooh, I really like that, so I click on that. And then if I wanted to tweak, like I did before, some of the brightness or some of the temperature changes on that, and then just output the layers. And I'm in pretty good shape with this one, I think, but let's go File. Oh, let's go Save As, because I don't want to overwrite my old one. And I'm going to go Stonehenge 2.psd. Just remember, always save the PSD, because that way when you come back, if you change something, like you decide, oh, I really didn't like that sky, you can come up here and either turn it off or delete those layers. So I saved it. Now what I want to do is I want to export, save for Web Legacy. Yep, I've got plenty of room. Obviously, I may want to play with that a little bit more, but that's okay. I'm going to hit Save. It's going to remember it as Stonehenge 2. It's going to save it in that same directory, and I'm going to hit Save. And there we go. So, what have I played with? Sky Replacement, Generative Fill, and the Remove tool. Using a Generative Fill as creating from nothing. And then here, I came over here, did the sky replacement, and then I also used a generative fill, only this time I told it what I wanted. I didn't do a very good job, but you know, it's not bad. So I hope you have as much fun with these new tools as I have, and you know, I'm not perfect with it yet. It will take a little bit of time since this is relatively new. Just like you, it takes time to learn this stuff, and there's some tricks, ins and outs, and there's some good videos out there that'll help you learn it, besides my own. Take care.